Hi, I'm Carol Jurgensen Sheets, aka Carol the Coach, and I am here to help people who suffer from sexual addiction and their partners with coping skills that will make their life better during this very traumatic time. And I know I work almost exclusively with addicts and their wives or husbands, and it is traumatic. And finally, for whatever reason, the secret is out. And I'm so glad that it is. And yet, what I do know to be true is that you have to, if you're a sex addict, you have to be able to explore and demonstrate rigorous honesty. And I also am going to want you to start thinking about life differently. And what I mean by that is, if you have a partner, you're not only dealing with the shame of sharing what's really been occurring all these weeks, months, and years, but you also are worried about traumatizing her. And I know that. And she is so traumatized that it's just painful to watch her family go through this transition. So whether you're a partner or whether you're an addict, whether you have somebody or you don't, I wanted to talk today about a coping skill that comes directly from a woman by the name of Byron Katie. And Byron Katie had her own mental health issues, and she was in the deepest, darkest depression ever. And what she knew that she needed to do was to shift her thinking. And she came up with 4 tools called the Works. Now, I want you to think about a situation in your life that is really plaguing you, really worrying you. Again, if you have come clean about your addiction, that is a relief, but with it comes a lot of extra anxiety because now you have to decide what you're going to do with it. And if you love somebody who has revealed or you've discovered that there's this huge problem, what you have to do is minimize the amount of trauma you feel. So let's go over the Works. The Works is a 4-part system whereby you start thinking about your life differently. So the first thing that happens is that we oftentimes have very negative thoughts about ourselves, about our situation, about our life. And when that occurs, the first thing you ask yourself is you say, is it true? Whatever you're thinking, you ask yourself, is it true? And then you're probably shaking your head, yeah, it's true. I'm a screw up. I'll never be whole. I'll never have a relationship. I'll never get rid of this addiction. But when you ask, is it true? What you have to know is that you don't know if it's true. So the second question you ask yourself, it's going to sound like a repeat, but it is not. You ask yourself, do I absolutely know that it's true? Can I absolutely be certain that I'm never going to get rid of this addiction? Or that I'm always going to be a screw up? Or that I'm never going to find love? Or if you're a partner, I'm never going to be able to trust him. I'm never going to get rid of this anxiety. I'm never going to have a happy life. So you say, can I absolutely be assured that it's true? That's tool number 2. The third tool that you have to really look at your life and ask yourself is, how do I react when I have the belief that it's absolutely true? I feel more depressed. I feel more anxious. I feel more angry. I feel more jilted. I feel more jealous. I feel more scared. I feel more confused. I feel worse about myself. I feel more shame. And that thought can go on and on and on. You know what it's like. And then you say, what happens when you believe that thought? Well, life doesn't get much more difficult. So here's the trick. Tool number 4 is to ask yourself, who would I be without that thought? Because the bottom line is, no matter what you're going through today, you can change your life. You can make your life be different. You can be the best person ever. You can trust him or her. You know, if you're the partner, there will be a day, if you hang in there and he works his program, you will trust again. Because if he's doing the work, it works and you will feel relief. So asking that last question, what would I be without the thought, reminds you that you can do this. You are absolutely capable. That you don't have to be traumatized by your own thoughts. You know, you carry so much shame about what you've done and who you are, but you don't have to always feel that way. One of the beauties about the 12-step program is after you rid yourself of all the self-loathing and you make the amends where they need to be, you pay it forward and help others to get healthy. That's if you're going to a 12-step program. Transformation is incredible and you can accomplish anything. But you have to realize that we are not our thoughts. And or if we have 60,000 thoughts a day and most of them are negative, it's our responsibility to turn them around and to be positive. And I don't mean unrealistically positive. I mean realistically genuine about our potential. And when you do that, you behave differently. You see yourself differently. You relate differently. Now, I'll tell you, one of the worst things about being in a coupleship and dealing with this is that oftentimes the addict is working so diligently and making great strides and feeling better, and the wife's still reeling in pain and trauma and feeling overwhelmed. And she's looking at him going, how can you feel so much better? I feel like crap. And so clearly, I want to say to you, somebody who suffers from sexual addiction, that she'll catch up. You just keep doing your work, you just keep proving yourself, and you keep changing those thoughts. So let's go over them again. Again, the 4 tools to the works by Byron Katie, Byron, and then Katie. I trained with this woman. She's amazing. Is when I have a negative thought, I think, is it true? And of course, I'm going to want to say, yes, it's true. But then question number 2 is, do I absolutely know it's true? Can I absolutely know that it's true? Well, no, I can't absolutely know it's true. And then third, how do you feel about yourself? How do you behave when you believe that? So I really examine how it brings me down, makes me stay in shame or pain, and keeps me from having the energy to continue to make my life different. And last but not least, that 4th tool is about turning it around and saying, how would I feel if I didn't have that thought? Because then that, again, opens up your mind to know that you can feel differently, you can think differently, and you can behave differently. And that's what creates new neuroscience in the brain. That's what keeps you out of the amygdala, where you're really frightened or frozen or fighting mad, and you use your executive functioning in the prefrontal cortex again. And you do the next right thing. And that's what addiction recovery is all about. So I hope I gave you some hope, strength, and recovery. Whether you're an addict in recovery or a partner in recovery, this will get better. I would recommend the book, Loving What Is, by Byron Katie. And just know, she has been there too. Not necessarily in addiction, but in a real struggle within herself. And hey, my number one coaching principle is that you are 100% responsible and accountable for your behavior and for your thoughts and your feelings. So see what you need to do to turn them around so that you can live the life you deserve. I'm Carol Jurgensen-Sheets, a.k.a. Carol the Coach. If you want to read more about me, I have 2 websites. One is carolthecoach.com. That's for anybody, and I have over 600 articles on self-esteem, self-improvement, depression, anxiety, family relationships, trauma. And then my very specific website for sex addiction and for partner trauma is Sex Help with Carol the Coach. Make it a good week. Change your thinking. When you change your thoughts, you change your life. And I'll see you back here again.